Everyone, if you are watching the price of Bitcoin, you know we went above $100,000 around 8:30 p.m., 9:30 p.m., something like that last night. I think it was like 8:30 p.m. Anyway, we spent most of yesterday night and this morning above $100,000, and then now Bitcoin is back below $100,000. As of a moment ago, it was about $96,000. Just checked my watch. Okay. So what's happening? You might be wondering. Why have we slid back below $100,000 when we were solidly above it? We even touched for a split second $104,000. All right, so what's happening? All right, here is what is happening. What is happening is give me one second here. I'm in traffic. All right. So what is happening is anytime the price is going up, you know there are more people buying than selling, and anytime the price is going down, you know there's more selling than buying. That's the nature of absolutely anything. Every stock, every bond, every anything. If the price is going one direction, it means there are more sellers than buyers, or there are more buyers than sellers. That is how supply and demand works. So on the euphoric optimism as a result of Donald Trump picking a very pro crypto and pro Bitcoin head of the Security Exchange Commission, everybody got all euphoric yesterday and pushed the price. All the people, buy, and the price went from $94,000 up to very briefly $104,000 for like 1 second. But it at least spent hours around, $102,000, $103,000 per coin, and then it slid back down. And it slid back down because the euphoria of the people who were buying had run out, and the people who were selling, a bunch of people woke up and realized, wow, the price is above 100. That was my number to sell. And so they did. And so that pushes the price back down. So I want to use an analogy so you can understand the psychology of these people. So think about Bitcoin and its journey to $1 million as a very long train ride. And there are major stops along that very long train ride. Let's say Grand Central Station, or downtown Tokyo. Let's use downtown Tokyo because they have more trains in Japan, at least it seems like, than here in the United States. Okay, so a bunch of people they're watching movies on the train. Everybody's sort of checked out. Nobody's paying attention. It's been a few hours, since a major train terminal, and we come up on the Tokyo main station, and nobody's really paying attention, but the train starts to slow down, and eventually the train stops, and it's the Tokyo main station. Now, a lot of people have been paying attention very closely, and they get off immediately, and other people get on, and so it sort of balances out. But what happens is, as the train comes to a stop, there's a bunch of people that have not been paying attention. They've been watching movies, they've been sleeping, they've been doing whatever, and suddenly they realize when the train comes to a complete stop, Grand Central Station of Tokyo. I used to know the name of that, whatever it is. Um, when, the train comes to a stop, and suddenly a bunch of people wake up this morning and they check their phones, and Bitcoin's $103,000 per coin, and they weren't even paying attention. Literally, they were like not even paying attention, and they're like, "What? $100,000 per coin? I thought it was like 60 something or 70 something, or I knew it was up, but my heavens, that's way up." And so you have a bunch of people that are like, "Okay, $103,000 per coin." Some people are going to sell it to get US dollars, moving back into US dollars, which makes zero sense. But, people have the right to be dumb. So some people do that. Some people are thinking, oh, wow, I've got a major medical bill I need to pay. I better go liquidate some Bitcoin so I have money for that medical bill. Some people are thinking, oh, I want to, put an add on to my house, or I need a new car, or I need to buy a new air conditioner or a new heater for my house. And so anybody that wanted to get off when it crossed $100,000 is suddenly all waking up at the same time this morning. The equivalent, again, would be the train comes to a stop at the Grand Central Station equivalent of Tokyo, and everybody's like, wait, where are we? We're in Tokyo? Like, is this the big stop? Is this like the main one? Wait, I need to get off. And suddenly there's this like panic, people running around. Most of the people who have wanted to get on the train have been waiting a long time, so they're on. But not all the people have gotten back. So the train starts leaving the station past $100,000, and a bunch of people are screaming and yelling, hey, wait, this was my stop. This was my stop. I want to get off. I want to get off. I want to get off. And of course, the way supply and demand moves, the train has to back up a little bit, back to $100,000 and a little past it, and let all those people who want to get off the train. So Is anything different? No, this is how Bitcoin works. This is how every stock, every bond, every commodity, everything that trades on any stock market anywhere in the world or any commodities market or anything, they all work this way. It is all based on supply and demand. And the price goes up when there's more buyers than sellers, and the price goes down when there's more sellers than buyers. And so that's what's happening. Everybody who wanted to get off the train at $100,000 is madly trying to get off the train at a price above $100,000 today. And then what will happen? Well, it'll go back up. So, or it could go to back down for some period of time before it goes up. But when you have an incredible asset with perfect monetary properties, that's an ideal store of value and for in the long term, an ideal unit of account, medium of exchange. It is the world's perfect money, the best way to store value anywhere in the world. When you have an asset like that, the demand will always eventually outstrip the supply. The supply is capped at 21 million. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. As a result of that, by definition, as demand increases over time, the price has to go up. That's the only thing that can happen is the price has to go up because the supply cannot go up. So that is what will happen. People will get off the train. We'll spend a little time in the 90,000s. I don't know how long, maybe a few more hours, maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks. Nobody knows. But we'll spend a little time in the 90,000s. Well, everybody who wants to get off the train gets off the train. And we'll even get a few people that were all excited about being above $100,000. They're like, oh, now it's not going to keep going up. I thought it was just going to keep going up. I guess this party's not as fun as I thought it would be. And they'll end up owning Bitcoin for like a week or 2 weeks. And then they'll get off the train. Whatever. This happens. It happens at every single price point. Every time you hit a new all-time high, this happens. Every time you cross a major milestone like a new, $5,000 mark, like 55,000, 65,000, 70,000, 80,000, whatever, a new incremental $10,000 mark, like $80,000, $90,000, certainly big numbers like $100,000. And yeah, it's going to happen every time. And so you wait it out and you use this opportunity to buy as much additional Bitcoin as you possibly can. So while the tourists are panicking and trying to flee the train, you take their spots on the train, you buy the Bitcoin off of them, and then eventually the price just keeps going up. And the people who got off the train really, really, really wish they had stayed on it longer. So that's what happens every time. That's where we are right now. Use the opportunity to accumulate as much additional Bitcoin as you can. Now, one question you might have is wait, if the price is dipping, then why wouldn't I just wait to buy a dip? And the answer is because you don't know what a dip is, and you don't know when it'll happen. So, for example, when we hit 93,000 a coin and we pulled back to $88,000 per coin. Same thing happened. We ran past $90,000 and then we spent a few days or a few hours or a few days, I can't remember, just below 90,000. It was like 88,000. Well, somebody posted on my Facebook page that they were going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin when it hit $85,000 per coin. Well, guess what? It never did. The lowest it ever got was about 87,000 a coin. So they're still waiting around. They could own, Bitcoin bought at 87 or 88,000 per coin. That's now $96,000 per coin. But they didn't. Presumably, they're still waiting for $85,000. That was the magic number they had in their head. You should never have a magic number in your head. You should never be waiting to buy Bitcoin until it hits a certain price because chances are, whatever that price is, it won't ever hit it. You should never plan to sell Bitcoin at a given price because that means you're planning to move back into US dollars for no reason. And it makes no sense to move from an asset that is absolutely finite and scarce to an asset that the government prints an unlimited amount of. Why would you ever sell something precious and scarce to move something that is plentiful and increasingly worth less, as in worth less every single day? It's not completely worth less, but it is worth less every single day. So it is a great time to buy additional Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin you had not yet bought. Now is a fantastic time to buy it before we leave we pass $100,000 and never look back. Now is a great time to buy whatever additional Bitcoin you were going to buy with that. Do not wait to buy more of a dip. If you wanted to buy a dip, right now is that dip. Buy the dip right now. Don't wait. And don't sell it when it goes past $100,000 because what are you going to sell it for? Unless you are selling Bitcoin to make you or your family's life better in some way, or to positively impact the world, or to donate to a charity in need, or whatever it is, all good things. If you're selling Bitcoin to do any of those things, great. That's the point of money. But if you're selling Bitcoin to get US dollars, you are moving from a superior money to an inferior money. It's like you back in the day, when everybody is turning in their seashells to buy gold, you're the one out there, selling your gold to get more seashells. Well, that's a one-way ratchet. Like when the world moves from seashells to gold, it will never move back from gold to seashells. That only happened one time. So the same thing is happening with Bitcoin and US dollars. The world is slowly moving from fiat currencies, which means made up currencies and all of that. The world is slowly moving to Bitcoin. So don't trade back the wrong way into the unlimited thing when you can own and hold the scarcest thing in the world, which is Bitcoin. So now's a great time to buy. Buy it while you still can below $100,000, and we'll just keep going up. And over the next 5 or 10 years, we'll blast past $1 million per coin, and Bitcoin will take over the world, and it will be the money that everyone uses in the future. And the question is, how much of it are you going to own when that happens? Because it's going to happen, and it's only a matter of time. So take this opportunity, stock up on whatever Bitcoin you want to own below $100,000, and everybody fleeing the train at the $100,000 threshold will one day regret it, just like they have at every other threshold below this. Always happens. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks.